from Caris LeVert, 43 points, a career-high 7 3-pointers for LeVert tonight down in Memphis. The Nets lose 115-110. Let's get the thoughts of the head coach, Steve Nash.
Steve, I'm wondering, you guys went into halftime shooting around 20% from three, and then you had the big third quarter. Was it as simple as the shots going in, or did you guys get better looks and Did you guys get better looks in the second half, and that made the difference? Sorry.
No problem. I think a bit of both. I think more importantly, we had more energy. The first half we were a little flat, and came out, got down 20-something. It was just a step late mentally and physically. Third quarter, though, we came out and fought. I mean, it was crucial for us to have that little, a 6-7 point run at the end of the first half to get it down to 15. They came out with energy in the third. Caris made some big shots. TP made some big shots, and found ourselves right back in the game all the way to up 4. So, we definitely there was some tough shot making, but the energy and the desire was there. So I was proud of them in the second half.
Michael Grady from Yes Network.
Coach, just how disappointing is it, this one getting away? And it's kind of two-faceted, obviously getting down early, but to claw back and then come up a little bit short.
Yeah, obviously frustrating, but considering we went down 22 or whatever it was, I believe, to fight back and get up 4, it was just a couple possessions here and there where we maybe drove it into a crowd or took it into a crowd in transition instead of just taking care of the ball and getting a shot at the basket. But when you give yourself that hole to climb out of, sometimes no matter how far you climb back, it's too much to overcome by the end.
I know Gerald was checking into the game a little bit late in that fourth quarter. Then there was no dead balls. Did you want to get him in a little bit sooner? And how tough was that decision with DJ? Yeah, DJ was giving us good minutes. He was doing fine, playing well. We wanted to get Jay back into the game, and unfortunately, at that point he was stuck over on the sideline for a minute or two. Didn't really want to burn a timeout because DJ was doing fine. So just one of those unlucky situations. But, I don't think that was the difference in the game. We turned the ball over, I think, a few times or took it into a crowd and got blocked at that end when we should have been a little more patient.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Hey, Steve, I apologize if you were asked, but that 3.5 minute span where you guys were cold offensively down the stretch, was that, and some of those were turnovers as well. Did you just attribute that to tired legs, or was there more sloppiness there in that span than you would have liked?
I'm assuming, the guys' legs were maybe a little tired because we played last night, got in really late and had to claw back out of a big hole. So I don't want to discredit that, but I thought we were just forced a couple plays, took it into a crowd in transition, like I said, maybe drove the ball a little impatiently and got blocked, things like that, where we could have just ran the offense or stayed patient and got better looks. So sometimes that happens. We fought all the way back with a big adrenaline rush, and you get a little carried away at times, and I think we just didn't have the poise when we were up 4 to kind of manage that lead.
Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey, Coach, is it possible for Caris to maintain this level of aggression when Kyrie and KD come back? And what's it going to take for him to find this stride when these stars return to the lineup?
I think Caris is usually really aggressive. I think he just was 7 of 9 from 3 tonight, so it makes it all look totally different, right? But he was great. He was huge. He was a big part of us getting back into the game, obviously. But I've never really had a problem with his aggressiveness. It's just, tonight, I think it's just paints a picture of when the ball goes in the basket, it looks a lot different. But he's been playing well. He had a couple good games, a few good games in a row now, and he's getting better all the time. So really proud of the way he's playing.
Back to Michael Grady with Yes Network.
Coach, can you highlight some of the miscues you were seeing on the defensive side of the ball?
I just thought it was overall a step slow mentally and physically in the first half. I think that was the biggest problem. They kind of got what they wanted. We, maybe a little lethargic out the gates, and you got to put two halves together. We didn't play well in the first half, and I think it's not necessarily one thing. You could attribute it to a bunch of things that I think, but at the root of it, it was just maybe we weren't as sharp as we needed to be mentally and physically, and we're a step late on too many scenarios. And that's what gave them a big lead in the first half. Obviously, we had a good second half, but come down here on the road for a long flight, we got to put two halves together.